Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Ascendancy Labyrinth, which is basically how characters will get your Ascendancy, which is like a subclass, and it's very, very strong for every character. You should always ascend, and we're going to be covering like what you do it for, like how you do it, where you do it, what it gives you, and talk a little bit about the Labyrinth itself. So first, let's go show what a labyrinth trial looks like. You'll always see like a book like that, which knows, you know you're in like the right spot, and you'll be able to find these trials. And there are loads. We're going to be showing each. So you would basically like run through like this, and then you run back out. Once you've gotten all the trials, you're able to do the labyrinth and ascend your character. So we would click this here and it would show which ones we have completed, which ones we haven't completed. So if I click on this now, we see that we have all of them. The prison is here, and then there's another trial in the crypt. And again, you do only have to do these once per league, which is really, really good. Obviously, I haven't done them on this character, but I can still ascend. There's another one in Chamber of Sins level 2. So a quick rule of thumb here is that there is one trial in Act 1, 2 trials in Act 2, and 3 trials in Act 3. And in Act 6, there is 1. And here we have, again, at Chamber of Sins level 2 and the Crypt, we have, these are for your second lab. And then you have in the Bathhouse, you have another trial. You have another trial in the Tunnels. And the final trial is in a side area here. Side area here in Act 10. And that is for your Merciless lab. There are 6 trials once you get to maps as well, and once you complete those, you will get an Offering of the Goddess. They're completely random as well, but when you have one Offering of the Goddess, you can spawn another trial by opening a Offering to the Goddess in your map device. This is going to be random. It's not going to just fill it in, but this does make it a lot easier to find the last one, and it makes it worth to do even duplicates because you technically get one extra random trial. So it's a lot easier to find them now. And then another tip as well for finding the Uber Lab or map trials is whenever you find Zana in a random map, check through all her maps, and some of them will say contains the map trial or something like that. Contains the labyrinth entrance, whatever. So it is actually pretty easy now to find all the Uber Lab trials. There's also a prophecy which gives you a lab trial in maps. So next you have to go to the Zizaran encampment in Act 3, and there's a waypoint in here, so you don't have to go through that entrance in town every other time. But we have the Labyrinth activation device. So here we see the level of the labyrinths, and you can enter quite a lot earlier. I think it's something like 25, 45, 55, 65. I can't exactly remember like the entry levels, but you can enter really, really early on a lot of them if you want to. But either way, you have to do one before you can do the other, so you can't just do your Merciless or just do your Eternal Labyrinth. You do have to do Normal, Cruel, Merciless, and then Eternal. There is another lab as well called Gift of the Goddess, which is really, really good. There's Gift, Tribute, and Dedication to the Goddess. Gift will give you a bunch of extra rewards in terms of enchants. Dedication to the Goddess gives you loads extra loot, and Tribute to the Goddess gives you belt enchants, I believe. But there are 3 Uber labs. This is called Uber Lab, and then the other ones are Uber. We'll talk a little bit about that later. It's incredibly dangerous, and yeah, not good for new players because you will get annihilated. But yeah, we do have the Labyrinth here. This one's very, very easy. It will normally be very, very straightforward. And there's a very good website called poelab.com where you can, for example, go and see today's layout. You can see that the normal lab is obviously very straightforward. It's just, there's no doors. It's just like one area. And normally you just go to the top right is normally the way to go. And then you can see like Cruel Lab starts getting a little bit more complicated. There's a few extra rooms. Merciless Lab, here there's even a gold door that we have to unlock. And then Uber Lab, this is also the same layout for like the Uber Lab. Here we have very often a golden door. It's a lot harder and longer. So we'll just do a quick Uber Lab while I explain it a little bit here. So I haven't done today's lab, so I don't know the layout. And then the first thing I do is I'll open poelab.com lab.com and generally like get a feel for the layout. I know that there's no dark shrine in the zone that I'm running right now because I'm in the first zone. So I'm just running straight for like the top, basically. Here's where we started, and I'm just running straight up. This is pretty much what I always do. You just always go like north, I guess, is a good way to say it. This zone has Argus in it. We know that because there's a big A on PoElab.com.
I cannot do this yet.
I don't really have any interest in killing Argus, but if you do, that will give you a key, which will open one of the reward chests at the end of Lab. These aren't particularly valuable, and I don't really care or bother much with them. All I do Lab 4 is enchants, which is the main reward. You get to enchant a glove, boot, or a helmet. And the helmet enchants can be very, very valuable. I have made a lot of money this day of farming lab enchants. And you can either put that on bases to sell or set up like a service run. But as you can see, I'm just pretty much always running to the top of lab. There will be some times where this isn't the case, but it's a pretty good... will generally get you where you want to go. Now let's talk a little bit about traps, because you might be like thinking like, he's just running through traps. What the actual fuck? I'm dying to them all the time. Now, I'm a Juggernaut with pretty high life regen and loads of like tank endurance charges. I don't actually take damage. Even though it's like percentage based, it would be very, very hard for me to die from traps. So this is a very, very good lab runner for hardcore. On softcore, however, speed is actually very, very popular, because it doesn't matter if you do fuck up and die once every like 50 or 100 runs. And whenever you are very fast, the traps don't actually have enough surface area to kill you. Generally, whenever you see new players dying to traps, it's because they were trailing the lab trap and then panicking and being like, oh no, and then getting hit and slowed, and then they die. But especially like having 2, maybe 3 life lasts if you're new, and 2 quicksilvers will actually get you through lab very, very nicely. Solar Relic Kesh will make things like this trap in particular do less damage to you, because it's physical damage over time while moving. So if I'm moving on this, I'll take less damage. Soul of Earth Slotha is very, very popular as well. Life Flask gain charges per second if you haven't used the Life Flask recently. So if I do like panic, I can stand here and recharge while my Life Flasks are recharging. Stone Golems are really good as well, and also Enduring Cry. Those are like all the things you can use to make it easier through lab if you feel that it's a struggle. And there are some trap patterns that can be very, very deadly, especially for characters that don't have much life regen. Especially if you have things like Valpact, that can be very, very scary. We have no life regen. Now here we see it says domain enclosure here. We know that the next room is supposed to be the trial. So we know that we have to go down here. We don't even need to click the current location, which will always show us where we are. Here we're now in the aspirant trial. There will always be a crafting recipe here, which is important to pick up once at the start of the league. 1 per lab. And then today we see, if we look on PoE lab, it says dual swords, and we have charge disruptors and fonts. And it tells you what to do. So for this one, I actually want to not damage him if I want an extra key. Again, I don't care about that, so I would normally just blast him down. And if anything, I would be clicking these so that he would be weaker, because the key has no value to me. I don't care about the rush from the boxes. And as soon as he is full, he will say, behold the machinery at maximum efficiency. So now he's fully buffed. He does not get stronger than this, and I can like debuff him with charge disruptors. But if I click that, he'll start gaining them again slowly. Again, we can just do this to get an extra key. But yeah, if you want it to be easier, click them and damage him, and try not to click them all at once. And then the next one is going to be fonts. These are basically curses, temp chains, vulnerability, and elemental weakness. So they can be pretty scary for a lot of characters. If you don't have curse immunity, or if you don't think you're going to have curse immunity up permanently, yeah, maybe take them out. Here we have a silver chest. I never bother with those. I don't feel like they're worth it. Like, I would run past here and I would get a silver key, and then later on in room 13, 15, and 9, I could use my 1 key to open one of those, and that will be like a reward. It'll be like a chance for some extra lab stuff. I never bother with those either. They're not particularly worth it. I do know that there is a dark shrine here, and the dark shrine can then either spawn in this location. So if this wasn't here, then I know that the dark shrine is there. But since the dark shrine isn't there, that means it's either here in the top right, or since now I haven't found it yet, that means it's to the left of the next zone. Hello? I'm stuck? So now that I know the Dark Shrine is going to be here, I click this lever, and it'll be like the switch here. You go in and you click the Dark Shrine. Dark Shrines can give you buffs. They can give you shrines that make you tankier. You can actually get the Immortality Shrine. It's just very, very rare. You barely ever get it. It can give you a portal directed to the next Zizaran, which is obviously very nice. Saves you a lot of time. It can give you the thing that you want the most, which is basically twice enchanted. The same as the prophecy, and it stacks with it. Twice enchanted will give you an extra enchant at the end, and the Dark Shrine has a chance to give you an extra enchant as well. So they'll generally, like, you see that I'm running straight through them, and that's because I've done labs so much that I always know every layout, and I know exactly where they're going to be. So for this layout, it'll always be, there'll either be like a little inwards thing here with the Dark Shrine up there, it'll be this layout, or it'll be to the left of the entrance. There's also some layouts that look similar to this where it would be down here, but I find that that's kind of infrequent. Here we can see the trial is up here. We do another trial, and here we can see the fonts start popping out. Again, if I want an extra key here, I just don't kill the fonts. If I don't care about the key, I can kill all of them to make it safer for me. So if I just drag him up here, and he will actually hurt me. There. Now I have all the keys. Oh, no, my minus one key. So now I still have those two, but this one got destroyed, so no key for me. And today is actually what we call a good lab. Again, if we open up PoE Lab, we'll see that there's no gold door, and there are 4 Dark Shrines on the way. It's a very, very short lab, so this is like the perfect day for me to like run lab loads and make loads of money of it. It's very, very, very good. Very, very good. Sometimes you'll get one with a golden door and like maybe some backtracking, and that's not good. So here's another Dark Shrine, and we're going to hit the switch. We are hoping for twice enchanted. With 4, you're pretty much guaranteed to get it. I'd say very, very likely that the next one is going to have it. I would be surprised if it didn't. And there you see that I did not get it, which is sad because I thought I would. But either way, we still do get 2 enchants. You can get 3 in Uber Lab, and the most you can get in Gift of the Goddess is 9. In the Gift of the Goddess or any of like the Uber ones, it is considerably harder. It's more similar to like an endgame boss like Shaper or Elder. I think it's killed 25 or 28 million life. I think this one only has like 2. Very, very much harder. It can one-shot my character. You have to be very, very careful, and I'm actively avoiding getting hit. Sometimes you'll get things that turn off the traps here at the end. These like things are very, very scary. They'll take a lot of increased damage, and it can be pretty easy to panic and die here. He'll do like that green thing, which will teleport people there. He'll run around hitting you, and yeah, it actually can be pretty scary. Now we'll just click random chest. There's no pattern. There's nothing to care about. You pick up the loot. You now and again get exalted orbs. You will get maps. You'll get other labs or other offerings. But either way, now we'll look at the enchantment section. Now you get a choice of a glove, boot, or 3 different helmet enchants. I don't care about any of these. I don't think there are any here that are going to sell, so I'm just going to overwrite it. And there's nothing here I really care about. Some of these are actually good. This one's good. This one's probably okay. So remember to click your Altar of Ascendancy at the end. You get 2 points per lab. 2 for normal, 2 for cruel, 2 for mercies, 2 for Uber. And you can't get more than 8 points. If you're wondering how to respec your Ascendancy, I could actually respec my Ascendancy now. I could just eat 40 regrets, remove all these points, and touch the altar again, and it would let me, as long as I have no Ascendancy points allocated, it will let me change. And you can do this in normal, cruel, mercies, or Uber. So normally we just do a quick normal lab and unascend at the end. And remember, to remove or regret one of these, it's actually 5 points. Even though I have 1, that is not enough to remove an Ascendancy point. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Either way, I hope this helps new players that are learning Path of Exile to understand the Labyrinth a little bit better. And I hope you guys are enjoying Ultimatum League. Sub if you liked the video. But more importantly, try to die less than I do.